Hey folks, I'm Mike. Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence. It keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks and welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike and this is Krishna Blue Black. This is actually from the Lyrebird collection, of which there are only two, so I guess that's like the minimum number for a collection. Somebody mentioned these on one of my live streams a little while ago, and Braden from Pen Chalet said, hey, Ron and I can send one of those out for you. So he sent me both the blue and the blue black. These are sort of everyday writing inks that are formulated in India, and they are, there's only two of them, like I said, blue and blue black. And yeah, they're good everyday drivers. And this bottle is actually 35 mils, so a fairly decent sized bottle, and it's $7, $6.99. So if you're on the search for an ink which is economical and also a darn fine ink, check out this Krishna Lyrebird stuff. I do think that this blue black is more of a dark blue than a blue black, like a true blue black, but I'll show you a whole bunch of samples here at the end for comparison purposes. Stick that guy back in there. Oh, it also comes in a 100 milliliter bottle for $13, so even better deal. And this is what this ink looks like on paper. This is some Rhodia paper. You can sort of see some sheen here around the edges. There is a little bit of sheen to this ink. You don't really see it in the writing samples, but you will see it if you just pour it on the page. Let me grab my flashlight. This nice diffuse light I'm using here is good for everything but sheen. There it is. Boom, there's some sheen for you and some more direct light. So yeah, you do get a little bit, but if you're not a sheen lover, you'll still be okay. This is not a particularly sheeny ink. I had this ink in fact still do, because I actually like it a lot. This is a Franklin-Christoph model 46, which is the IPO black version, and I was using it in a medium SIG shadow nib ground by my old buddy Jim Rouse. And this is one of my favorite nibs. I love the medium and the broad SIGs, and this ink takes to it very, very nicely. It's got a very nice medium flow, nothing crazy here. This nib is perfectly tuned for me, so maybe a little bit on the medium wet side, but this is a very nice medium ink. No real problems. I did get some bleed on the copy paper. Let me grab the copy paper right quick. It is this line right here, of course. And you see a little bit of bleed, maybe a little bit of feather here and there, like in this dash. And I think up here on this little slash a little bit. You get a little bit of that, but this is 30% recycled copy paper in 20 pounds. And you get a little bit of bleed through, but this is like your office grade crap copy paper, so I'm not terribly shocked. The blue down below it did a little bit better, but not much. There's the blue, by the way, just for comparison, which is much brighter blue that tends a little bit toward, maybe a little bit toward the violet side of blue. Anyhow, it performs really well on everything else, and actually it was fine on that paper, just not great. But nothing is great on that paper, honestly. So this is my regular old Rhodia. This is 80 grams per square meter. Nice medium performance. We got that sheen and mild shading. Got that. A little bit of shading actually on here. I had forgotten about that until I just read it, and we discovered what I wrote it with. So let's go ahead and do our water test, and then we'll look at it on a couple of other papers, and we'll look at a bunch of writing samples and some chromatography, you know, all that jazz that we do with water tests and you know, ink reviews. All right, there we go. Let's drop some water on this page. Give me some more. There we go. Those little pipettes are fun, but sometimes you get a little air bubble in there. All right. All right. Let's give that a little shake and shimmy. Water test. No problems writing with this guy. I actually haven't written with this pen for several days, and starts right up. This ink is actually, it's quite nice, especially for $7 or $13 or something. It's pretty crazy. All right, let's go ahead and mop this up. Doesn't look like it's particularly water resistant, but let's see what's left over of that cross hatching and dot pattern when we take this away. Well, it does, you can still read it. Like, you can make out what that was actually pretty well. You got some that came up, but even with a bit of water on there, no real problems. I mean, it's faint, but it's still there. You'd be able to recover your work. So, hey, mildly water resistant. It's not washing completely away in any case. All right, so there we go. Let's take a look at it on a couple of other papers. Firstly, let's take a look at it here. This is my Inky Fingers Currently Inked book. You can't get these anymore. Sorry, folks. This is a wheat straw paper, and there it is down here. You can see it's a very nice. It looks very nice on this paper. You got a little bit of sheen here and a couple of letters. Wheat straw paper is pretty decent for sheen. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. But it worked perfectly there. And of course, no like bleed through to the other side or anything weird like that. Then I have it here in an ink journal. You can totally get these at inkjournal.com and other places, I imagine. This is Tomoe River, so it's going to show some sheen and stuff. And it's this line right here, and actually I think it does pretty good. Let me get my flashlight again. Maybe not as much on Rhodia, but again, I didn't pool it here. So just a little bit of sheen here and there. And then there's a blue right underneath it, which is, again, very nice looking blue. Alrighty, so that's those two. What else we have here is we have our chromatography. And here it is. It actually performed, I don't know, maybe about as I was expecting, maybe slightly better. There is still some blue down here where the water started and the ink line started, but it pushed most of the dye content up to the top. So not a terrible amount there, but also just like, look at this, it's just blue. What color is that? It's blue. It's a very dark blue, but it's blue. All right. Here are a bunch of color comparisons. Here we have Krishna Lyrebird. This is on a col-o-dex card. I love these things. Big fan of these col-o-dex cards. You get a little bit, you get the sheen content there, and you also get the nice little bits of blue out to the edges. And as I said before, I think this is actually just a dark blue, like a very dark navy-ish blue, and not really a blue-black. Here it is next to Colorverse Quasar, which is more of a purpley blue. And here it is next to Diamine Music's Tchaikovsky, which I also think is kind of a purpley-ish blue, but very nice colors. Not quite the same as this. This gets a little bit more matte color. You get the same kind of sheen from these, but more, of course, with both of these Diamine and Colorverse inks. Then we have here, I think this is a little bit closer. This is Cult Pen's Deep Dark Blue, which is another Diamine, I believe. Looks like I've gotten some... Is it smearing still? This one's a little bit of a smearer, I think. And then, next to that, Monteverde Ocean Noir. Let's actually put that over here, which I think is actually pretty close. It seems like it's a deeper blue on the parts where it's less saturated than it is here, but the main color seems about the same. So if you like Ocean Noir, you'll probably also like Lyrebird Blue Black. All right. Then we here would have next to Three Oysters Min, which is a very nice blue, I think. A little bit of sheen there as well. Min is definitely a darker blue than the blue-black of Lyrebird. And then Diamine's Skull and Roses, which I think is gorgeous. It's my favorite sheening ink, actually, because it's a sheener, but it actually flows well in pens and doesn't bind up. So if you want a lot more sheen, but you want the same kind of base color, I would go with Skull and Roses. And then if you want something a little bit darker with a different kind of sheen, Shikiori Yonaga from Sailor has like a green sheen to it, but it's a little bit darker. Kind of the same base color, I think, but a bit darker blue. So Lyrebird Blue Black is not I guess it's not a very good blue black when you come right down to it, but it is an excellent dark blue. So check this out. Go to Pen Chalet or wherever else you're going to find Lyrebird. Thanks again to Pen Chalet for sending these out for review. I appreciate it, and so do the viewers. So show them some love. Go over there and check them out. And I will see y'all later. Peace out.